You know I'm Sussex now. You know I'm Sussex now. You know I'm Sussex now. You know I'm Sussex now.
So one would think, okay.
Do we call you Duchess?
Oh, call me Meghan. Absolutely.
I'm just Meghan. I'm just Meghan.
About how they announced her. Here's the soundbite, SOT 9.
We've had MasterChef royalty in the kitchen before. Yeah.
When the episode aired, the mention of royalty was cut out. Instead, as we saw and heard, she was introduced as a quote.
Let's start with the thing that is not in dispute. Meghan Markle filmed her MasterChef Australia appearance back in April, during the Sussex trip down under. The episode aired on the 26th of July, and in between those two dates, something happened in an edit suite in Sydney. The introduction that Po Ling Yeo read out on the day, the one used in the promotional material, the one Australian audiences saw in the teaser, contained a single word: royalty. By the time the finished episode reached air, that word was gone. In its place, global icon, philanthropist, humanitarian, business owner
Is a global icon, a philanthropist, a humanitarian.
There's a lot of things there.
4 titles to replace one, and according to reporting from news.com.au, that swap did not happen by accident.
Introduce her as, quote, royalty. However, news.com.au claimed Meghan and her team were, quote, frustrated at the Duchess being referred.
Frustrated. That is the word that started the entire story. And this is where it gets genuinely strange. Because of everything Meghan Markle could have objected to on that set, she reportedly objected to the one word that was arguably the least controversial thing said about her all day. Let me show you why that makes no sense at all. Here is the format of the episode she agreed to appear in. The contestants were told to select an ingredient and build something around it. The brief had a name. It was printed in the press release. It was said out loud on camera, more than once. A dish fit for a duchess. That was the entire premise. That was the challenge she personally helped design, using ingredients she personally selected from the pantry.
For a duchess. So it's like, what? That's okay. But describing you as royalty is not. And by the way, again, no one's really pointed this out. Maybe no one cares anymore. But this appearance making go.
So the title is acceptable when it is the marketing hook for the whole episode. The title is acceptable when it is stitched into the challenge that the contestants are cooking for. The title is acceptable in the press release, in the promo, in the on-screen graphic. But the word royalty, said once, in an introduction, that is where the line gets drawn. And then, on camera, the performance flips entirely.
Do we call you Duchess?
Oh, call me Meghan. Absolutely.
I'm just Meghan. I'm just Meghan.
Just Meghan, beautifully humble. Delivered directly to camera. In the same episode where the challenge is literally named after the title, she is graciously waving away. This is the pattern people have been watching for 6 years now. The title comes off in public and goes straight back on in the contract. She is Meghan when a camera is running, and the Duchess of Sussex when the deal is being negotiated. And it did not go unnoticed inside that kitchen either, because the word Duchess ended up being used an awful lot.
And so they're mocking her because they use it so much. I want to say they used it 10 to 15 times. And after a while,
10 to 15 times in a single episode, in a kitchen where the guest had supposedly asked everyone to keep the royal references down. Whether that was respect or something with a slight edge to it is a question we'll come back to at the end, because there is a moment later in the episode that makes it very hard to read as respect. Now, let's get to the part that had nothing to do with editing. The part that aired exactly as it happened. Meghan Markle has a cooking brand. She had a cooking show on Netflix that ran for 2 seasons. She sells jam, honey, tea, and what the marketing calls artisanal food products. Her entire commercial identity is built on being a person who feeds people. So a judge asked her the simplest possible question.
Your favorite dish to cook for the family?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one because I have a lot of palates to appease.
Name one dish. That is the question. Not a technique. Not a mystery ingredient. Not a 5-course menu under time pressure. One dish you like to cook for the people who live in your house. And what follows is not an answer. It is a cloud. Harry likes meat, potatoes, cream sauce. She's a California girl, so grilled fish, grilled meats, citrus. Then pure natural herbs and spices. Then a little heat, but not too much. then balancing the flavors, then savory and sweet. Adjectives, categories, vibes, no food.
She's asked to make something. Guess what she does? Pesto. So you know Meghan from your hilarious sort of version of With Love Meghan with Maureen Callahan. You know all she does. Yeah, your parody. That's the word I'm looking for. All she does is crudités and dips.
That's a broadcaster who openly says she doesn't cook, answering the question in 4 seconds flat. Lasagna? Done. Because that is how the question works when you actually cook. The answer arrives instantly, because it is not a piece of information you retrieve. It is a habit you live. And then, rather than land on anything, the conversation drifted somewhere else entirely into whether Australians pronounce the word herbs with the H or without it.
Yelling at the screen, you don't cook, stop talking about cooking. You don't cook. And it was just obnoxious to listen to.
A pronunciation tangent is a beautiful escape hatch. It's friendly, it's harmless, it fills airtime. And it means nobody has to notice that the question was never answered. It happened again, and this time she had home advantage. The ingredients on that bench were her ingredients. She had walked the pantry and chosen them herself. She had briefed the contestants on what she wanted. A hero item, something nostalgic, something with a story attached. So when a judge turned the question back on her, Meghan, what would you cook? This was the easiest possible moment. Her table, her brief, her ingredients.
Yeah. We grow a lot of carrots in our garden. My kids love growing them. I would take the tops and probably do a great pesto with it.
So you can tell she's struggling to figure out, like, this should be
carrot top pesto. Now, to be fair, that is a real thing. It's a slightly fashionable, zero-waste, farmer's market kind of answer, and it is not wrong. But watch what happens next, because the answer doesn't stop. It keeps going. Maybe with pasta, maybe with fish. Maybe it starts branching in 3 directions and losing shape. And the professionals standing next to her can see it happening in real time. And then one of them steps in and closes it for her.
So many things.
So many things.
Yeah, yes.
I just feel like Poe's like, so many things. Because she's just like, stop it, woman. You're
so many things. That is a professional host doing what professional hosts do, rescuing a guest who has run out of road. Wrapping the sentence up cleanly and moving the show along before the silence becomes visible. It is a kindness. It is also, if you think about the shape of the episode, completely backwards. The special guest was brought in to give these cooks insight. Instead, the resident judge is quietly finishing the special guest's answers for her. Now, here is the moment that tells you the most, and it involves a piece of history. In 2018, on her first Australian tour, Meghan brought a homemade banana bread to a farm visit in Dubbo. It became a small legend. The Duchess who baked it has been referenced in profiles ever since. So Poling Yeo, who clearly did her homework, baked one for her. A coconut banana bread. A deliberate, warm callback to that 2018 moment made specially for the guest. Watch the reaction.
not one smile from Meghan. She goes, like,
Ma'am, a professional cook has baked something for you. Referencing a story from your own life in front of cameras. And the response is a closed-mouth hum. Now, and this matters, she does then ask for the recipe.
I have never done coconut in a banana bread. You're gonna have to share this recipe with me, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Meghan, you don't want this recipe. You would never make.
So the words are gracious. The words are exactly right. The face got there about 2 seconds late, and that gap between what the mouth is saying and what the face already said is the thing this entire episode keeps circling. Because somebody else in that kitchen noticed it too, and she said so out loud. Sophia Levin is one of the resident judges. Food writer, critic, career built on tasting things and describing them accurately. Her whole professional skill set is reading a plate and, by extension, reading a person eating one first. This.
Duchess is first, I feel.
So, Duchess is first, I feel. I think she's mocking Meghan.
Duchess is first. I feel, said with a small pause. Said in a kitchen where the guest had reportedly asked people to ease off the royal language. Said, by that point in the day, for roughly the 12th time. You can read that as impeccable manners. You can also read it as something with a very fine edge on it. Australians have a particular gift for delivering the second while appearing to do the first. And then comes the line that closes the whole argument.
Poker face. Oh.
That's a terrible poker face. She basically called Meghan Markle a liar.
A terrible poker face? said to her face, on camera, in the finished aired episode. Nobody cut that one. Think about what that observation actually requires. To tell someone their poker face is bad, you must have already caught them playing one. You must have watched them say one thing while their expression said another and clocked the gap. Everyone laughs. The moment passes. And the guest who spent the entire episode being called a global icon, a philanthropist, and a humanitarian has just been told, pleasantly, in front of a national audience, that she is not as good an actress as she thinks she is. And now the sequence that genuinely has to be seen. On MasterChef, when time is running down, a judge shouts it. That's it. That's the mechanic. 30 minutes remaining, yelled across the kitchen, so 24 people hear it at once and keep working. Poe herself joked about sounding like a foghorn. Meghan had a different idea.
She says, I don't like to yell. And I actually believe her, because one of the things that we've heard about Meghan is generally she doesn't yell.
I tell them personally? Oh, no, here we go. Okay.
So Meghan is going to do the 30-minute time call. And
Personally, so instead of one announcement, we get a tour. She walks to a contestant, leans in, delivers the time call, then adds that she is telling them personally, then moves to the next bench and does it again and again and again.
Okay, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to work faster now.
So this is so awkward. And
just like you personally.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just had to let you know personally. What the heck? What?
Look at what that does to the room. These people are 30 minutes from the end of a timed cook. Sauces are splitting, proteins are resting, every second is accounted for, and a guest is going bench to bench, stopping each of them individually, to explain that she is delivering this news in person, while standing in person in front of them, delivering it. The information takes 4 seconds to shout. The performance of delivering it takes several minutes and interrupts every single competitor one at a time. And this is the thing about the whole appearance. It was never really about the cooking. Watch it again with that in mind, and it reorganizes itself completely. Every segment is a little vignette with her at the center of it. Even her husband turns up.
Here's in the background. As almost as if to say, like, oh, and I mean, it was just so incredibly staged to have.
Mid-challenge, in the middle of a judged competition, Prince Harry video calls in from Canberra. The contestants keep cooking. The cameras find Meghan. Even viewers who liked her appearance found that one hard to defend. It was the single most discussed moment of the night online. Not the food, not the winner. The phone call. Now, here is where this story takes a turn that almost nobody covering it has told you about, and it is the reason I wanted to make this video properly rather than quickly. Within days of the episode airing, the tabloid version arrived. An Australian magazine ran a cover.
The cover, the New Idea cover, and it literally says Meghan made her cry. Like, that's what it says.
Meghan made her cry. The story went everywhere. Po Ling Yeo, beloved Australian television figure, reduced to tears by a difficult duchess. Dozens of channels made a video about it within 72 hours. It became the accepted version of what happened in that kitchen. Then Po Ling Yeo went on Australian radio and was asked about it directly. She said they had a lovely time with her. She said Meghan was a model citizen, no fuss, didn't hide away in her green room, stayed engaged with the whole process. She said she had nothing to complain about at all. And when the meltdown headline was put to her, she used one word for it: ridiculous. She also said the level of scrutiny had been eye-opening the first time anything like that had happened to her. And she seemed genuinely startled by how far it traveled. So the woman at the center of the crying story says, by name on the record, that there was no crying story. Which leaves the rest of us in an interesting position. Because everything I've shown you up to this point is on tape. The unanswerable question about the favorite dish, the pesto that had to be rescued, the face during the banana bread, the poker face line, the time calls, all of it aired. All of it is right there. But the headline that everyone actually shared, the one about a beloved judge in tears, is the one part that the person involved has publicly denied. There's one more correction worth making, because it's been going the other way in a lot of coverage. You may have heard that the episode flopped, that the Meghan gamble didn't pay off. That number being quoted is around 738,000. And it sounds modest. That figure is the average audience across the hour. It is not the audience. The actual numbers, released by Network 10, 1.6 million total TV viewers, the biggest overnight Sunday audience MasterChef Australia has had since July 2023, an all-time record for the show's overnight streaming. At 118,000, total viewing over 7 days, 1.22 million, up 16% on the same episode last year. Whatever else that episode was, it was not a ratings failure. It was the biggest night the show has had in 3 years, which is, if you sit with it, the most uncomfortable finding of the whole story. So let's put it all together. A word was cut from an introduction, and we know that for certain, because it's in the promo and it's not in the episode. Somebody wanted it gone. A woman who sells a cooking brand could not name a dish she cooks, and a resident judge had to finish her answer about her own ingredients. A professional baked her something as a gesture, and her face got there before her manners did. A food critic told her, on camera, that her poker face was terrible, and that line survived the edit when the word royalty could not simply shout a time call. She had to deliver it personally, bench by bench. 2 people racing a clock. Her husband phoned in mid-challenge of that requires anybody to cry. None of it requires an anonymous insider or a magazine cover. It is all sitting in the finished episode that Network 10 broadcast to 1.6 million people. And that is the thing the tabloids got wrong, not because the story was too harsh, but because they reached for a rumor when the footage was already doing the work. The most revealing thing about Meghan Markle's MasterChef appearance was never what got cut out. It was everything they left in. Was Sophia's poker face line a joke or was it a dig? Tell me below.